Greetings and welcome. My name is Mike Bankhead. I am your host. I am a bass player and songwriter from the Jam City, Dayton, Ohio. The baseball season recently passed the halfway mark, and to talk about that, I've got Mike Thome back on the podcast with me today. Mike becomes the first three-time guest here on the You Could Be My Aramis podcast. We have a lot of ground to cover, and it's all about baseball. So, let's get to it. Hey there, Mike Thome. Welcome back.
Hey, Mike Bankhead. Glad to be here.
So, the All-Star break, we were talking on Thursday, so this is the first day of games back, and there's only like two or three of them. We're just past the halfway point. Your Minnesota Twins are in first place.
They're in first place. And if you remember, from the beginning, I was pretty high on them.
You were. You believed.
Yes. So it's exciting.
Now, it's not over. But
there's lots of work to be done.
But you'd rather be in first place than, say, 11 games back like the Tigers.
Yes. Yes. The poor Tigers. They were supposed to be better.
So who's leading the way for your Twins? Is it still? I don't watch a lot of AL baseball. So is it still Buxton?
Well, he's got the big power. It's a team effort. It really is. There isn't anybody like stands out. There's some weaknesses, but Arias, I can never say his name right. The guy's like an on-base machine hitting. This hits like crazy. He's on. Kepler's starting to warm up a little bit. And they finally got back. I just forgot his name, but he's been super clutch. Not a big home run hitter, but one of their young guys. So that's been exciting. Correa's playing pretty good. So there's some
we're thinking Correa's not going to get moved then, right? You're in a pennant chase. You can't make
No, there's not a chance. There's no way. And he loves Minnesota, so I hope that stays that way.
What's the what are the pockets like there at Minnesota? They run their franchise like a small market franchise?
They have some money. They're not afraid to spend. They're not going to be the Yankees or the Dodgers. But.
Well, I mean, nobody is. But the reason I'm asking is the Nationals are going to have to trade Soto.
He's not. He would be
nice. He would be nice in anybody's outfield, right?
Yeah, he's not coming to Minnesota.
You can't tell me that you wouldn't dream of him with Buxton and Kepler, though.
Oh, I mean, it'd be amazing, but I don't think the Twins drop $500,000. $500 million, excuse me.
They'll need to if you want to rent him for just a couple of years and let him walk in free agency.
Exactly.
But flags fly forever. No, I was just dreaming of a Soto, Acuna, Michael Harris Jr. outfield. Like, yeah, nobody would ever get a double again against Atlanta.
Good point.
Since the last time we talked, the Atlanta National League Baseball Club caught fire. Like, woo! They were like not very good the last time we talked, and they decided that they didn't want to lose very many more games and pretty much just crushed June. Mm-hmm. And today they sit 2.5 games behind the Mets, who, strangely enough, have not managed to screw this up yet, but they will.
Well, I'm still not sure of that, but we'll see.
Well, DeGrom's coming. He's been doing rehab starts, and if they are going to win the division, they need him to be DeGrom.
Mm-hmm. I still think they win the division. I think Atlanta's in.
I think they're both in. It's an easier path if you don't have to play that first round game, though, right? So
always. But so let's just talk though about what's happening. So. It's New York and LA, and that's it. I mean, they're so much better than everybody else.
Do you think that in a short series you could see the Brewers or Padres beat either one of those clubs?
Absolutely. And that's why you play the postseason.
You get in a 5-game series with the Brewers, they're going to throw Burns and Woodruff in games 1 and 2. Who's got a top 2 as good as Burns and Woodruff. The Mets, Scherzer and DeGrom.
Yeah.
Right. You could argue that they're even, or maybe the Mets are a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves, for how good their starting pitching has been, I don't think they have a top two as good as Burns and Woodruff. You go 40, they match up with the Brewers quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers, Bueller's hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kershaw
is 800 years old.
If healthy, right? They're obviously going to try to not let him, right? He's going to be doing the bulk of his long outings during the postseason. Kershaw and Urias or Kershaw and Gonsolin?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some fallback. I mean, he's been out of this world.
I think if the Brewers get there, they're going to be really dangerous in a 5-game series. And the same with the Padres. Musgrove and Darvish.
Yes, very true.
Is a nice one, too.
And they're not done. The Padres are not done. They're going to make moves.
Snell's been terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is terrible. I just think he's been bad recently, right? I think he's got the skill set. Musgrove, Darvish, Manaea, Snell is a really nice top 4. Oh, and Clevenger's like lurking around in that rotation somewhere. And they've been doing all this, like they're in second place, and they have gotten 0 out of their shortstop.
Who's coming back soon, right?
Because he decided to ride motorcycles during the offseason.
Yeah. The front office is going to not let him do that, right?
I mean, technically, that's grounds for voiding your contract, but like you're not going to void that guy's contract, right?
No, but you still like, hey, buddy, why don't you not do that?
You're just going to ask very nicely.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Fernando.
No, you're right. I agree about the National League Central. I mean, the Brewers are probably going to make a few moves. I'd like St. Louis to start the season, but as I watch this season, there's something wrong there, and I don't know what it is.
They don't have enough arms, I don't think. I think their offense is really good.
I think there's something chemistry. But I don't know. I don't watch them enough to know. It just doesn't feel like they're going to keep it going.
Well, Arenado's been great.
O'Neill's been hurt the entire
Yeah. Goldschmidt might be your NL MVP. Like he's been the best hitter in the league. Edman has been a lot better than I think he actually is.
But you need that if you're going to win some games. You got to have guys that have their career seasons.
Gorman has been as advertised, striking out a ton and just murdering the baseball. He doesn't strike out.
Yes.
Man, once he gets some plate discipline, I told you, left-handed Dan Uggla. That's what he is.
Yeah. It's pretty good comparison.
No, I think the Brewers, that's going to be an entertaining race the rest of the way.
And I think the Central and the American League is going to be the same. The White Sox aren't done.
No.
They're not going to lay down. So,
do you think they'd make a deadline deal?
Absolutely. I think the Twins do too.
What do you need if you're the White Sox? Let's see. If I'm a White Sox fan, what do I want them to get? They need to score more runs. They need more offense. Do you go get an outfielder, or do you go get Soto?
I mean, it's worth a try, right?
Soto would fit real nice in that lineup.
I mean, he'd just smashed it out of that ballpark.
Honestly, he'd fit real nice in anybody's lineup.
Well, yeah, come on. Yeah,
but you got guys like Moncada and Anderson and Jimenez and around him. That's. Can I just say that I'm very annoyed that the Yankees have won so many games?
Everyone is.
I don't like it when they're good. I enjoyed it the last few years when they were not good.
Yeah. Their pitching's been incredible. The home runs, I mean, it's just... Also had another thing about, you brought up the Yankees, because I also feel this year, last time we talked, or 2 times ago, what was it last time? It doesn't matter. But we talked about how balls are not flying out. And so I have another thought on that. So have you noticed that it's guys that kill the ball and everybody else?
Yes.
There's multiple guys that are hitting like 30, 40 home runs by All-Star break.
But those are the guys that would hit 30 home runs no matter what the baseball is made out of.
Exactly. So it makes me just like, there seems to be a bigger gap between the all-star, the guys that can hit, and it just feels like everyone else is just a replacement player, or maybe a hair above.
So a couple of things. I read an article today about that, and I meant to talk to you about it. It was in The Athletic, and it was about the 3 true outcomes. And this season, all 3 of them are down.
Interesting.
Now, that's kind of what the league wants.
More balls in play.
More balls in play. So they asked a bunch of baseball people why, and of course nobody knows why. And
it's all theory.
They did a lot of analysis of statistics, and here's their best guess: the ball is wonky, which we knew.
Yeah.
Which is why home runs are down. One of the factors. So logically, if home runs are down, pitchers don't need to be so careful, so they're going to walk fewer guys.
Yeah.
So walks are going to be down. They showed a graph that home run and walk correlation the last 10, 15 years, they follow each other really closely. So basically, whenever home runs are up, walks are up. Whenever home run, and you think about it, well, that makes sense. But they actually showed statistical evidence for this is actually a true thing. And swing percentage is up this year, meaning that there are fewer cases of dudes getting into 0-2 counts, right? More balls in play, like you said, which means fewer strikeouts. It doesn't mean that run scoring is up, because it's not. And I think baseball has been listening to those people that complain about there's too many home runs and strikeouts and they want to get more balls in play. That doesn't necessarily mean runs are going to go up, especially since defense is so much better than it used to be, both because the players are more athletic and that. But they shifted Ted Williams. It's just that players are more athletic and there's more detailed information on where people are going to hit the ball.
Well, chicks dig the long ball, so I think we need to change the rules. I mean, I love seeing guys get strikeouts.
I do too. And the thing is, if the infield is going to play you to pull as a left-handed hitter, what is stopping you from dropping a button down a third base line and taking your base? Yes, there are a couple of dudes in the NL that do that. There's not many.
It's beautiful.
If they're going to give you first base, take first base. Again, just don't make an out. I kind of wish, if more players did that, you would see less of the shifting. I think it's a kind of a game theory thing. You would get to a point where, maybe the defense is we'll take that. We'll give them one base as long as they don't get 2 or 4. But there's going to be a point where if the guy's never getting out, you're going to have to put somebody over there by third base to field the bunt, right? So
exactly.
There is the league is going to conduct an experiment with one of the independent leagues this year. I don't know if you've seen this. They're going to draw lines behind second base and not let the second baseman and shortstop cross those lines toward the middle.
I did hear something about. I haven't seen it. So
the proposal is an imaginary line on each side of second base, 90 degrees from the base. Think of it as a pie wedge. And when the ball is pitched, neither the second baseman nor the shortstop can be in between those pie wedges. The idea is to bring back the ability for people to get singles up the middle, because right now you stick the shortstop behind second base to the second baseman behind second base. Nobody's getting hits up the middle. Even if there's really not much of a shift otherwise. I don't like that, but
I'm not a huge fan, but I like seeing a ball just smack right up the middle and scare the pitcher a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, rewarded for that. I mean,
and these days you hit a line drive right up the middle and it's going to get fielded on one hop in the outfield grass and you'll get thrown out at first. But that used to be a hit, right? 10, 15 years ago. Even a weakly hit ball up the middle, if you got it by the mound, it was a hit. And today it's not. So they're going to experiment with it, and it's going to go before the competition committee and the players union during the off season. something is they're going to definitely do something. I feel like if you really want to fix things that are wrong, they should go to the robot strike zone first before all this other nonsense. Because I have seen some really poorly officiated games recently.
Yeah.
Even
Not
in
good.
favor of the team that I'm supporting, I saw Atlanta get like a win recently when there was a called strike 3 that was easily 2 balls off the plate, not remotely near the strike zone. And I'm like, I would be salty if I'm a hitter and I know that's not a strike and it gets, you know, and that's something that the technology exists to go ahead and fix that now.
I wasn't a fan of it at first, but the way that it is now, I'm like, I don't know. I tend to agree. I like the walk. So call it outside the strike zone. If I have enough discipline not to swing at it and it's not a strike, then give me first base.
It's only fair. And I feel like an unintended consequence of having robot umps is the skill of catcher framing would no longer be a thing. But if you think about it, should that be a thing?
No, it's your ability to fake somebody else out.
Right? Like it's got nothing to do with how well the pitcher has executed that pitch. So, I mean, and there are catchers that derive WAR value from their ability to frame. It's been proven that some of them are better at it than others.
Well, then do you even need a catcher if there's a robot ump?
You need a catcher because you got to block balls in the dirt and you got to throw out guys at second, and it's another bat in your lineup. So you need a catcher. But maybe that would allow space for more offensive-minded catchers who aren't, right? They say there's catchers that aren't very good at receiving or handling the pitching staff. This opens room for more players so something I'm going to recommend you and the listeners, there is a Twitter account called Umpire Scorecards. It's at Ump Scorecards. And they break down, after every single game, the home plate ump's performance. And I'm going to describe the things that they give you. They basically chart every pitch, and they show you all the pitches that were balls that the umpire called strikes. And conversely, all the pitches that were strikes that the umpire called balls. They show you the umpire's consistency against the actual real strike zone, and they show you the umpire's consistency against whatever the umpire strike zone has been this season, right? Because some umpires just like don't give you the high pitch or don't give you the inside corner. So, like from a hitter standpoint, as long as you know the umpire's not going to give you the high pitch, you probably can live with it as long as they're consistent amongst themselves.
Yeah, if you know it, hey, this is what this guy does. So
this umpire scorecard rates the umpires on overall accuracy against the actual real strike zone, and then consistency. Do they call it the same way every time? And they also give you how many runs plus or minus for each team the umpire's errors caused. And like the best game is going to be one where no team gets an advantage or the advantage is minuscule. I have not seen one of these yet. I try to look at them every day, but I've not seen one of these yet where an umpire's gotten a 100. There was one earlier where the home plate ump missed like the second pitch of the game and called every other pitch the rest of the game correctly. And I think that was the closest one that somebody got to a 100.
Yeah, so most guys are scoring like in 80%, right?
Most guys are in the 90s.
Okay.
You really would probably like it to be in the 97 to 98 range, right? They're human. What's really brutal is when they're like below 90. And brutal if they're like below 90, or if there's so many mistakes favoring one side that it swings a run or more toward one of the teams. And look, I know a lot of fans will think that the umpires hate your team. The umpires don't hate your team. They're just not good. I mean, there are some that are good, but...
Yeah. No, they may not like certain players, but I wouldn't say they hate the team.
No, I don't think there's an integrity issue. I just think some of them aren't very good.
So it's not a personal feeling. It's just they're like most jobs. Most people are not good at their job, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and at least on Twitter, it's funny because you always know when certain umpires are umpiring because their names end up trending. Like Even when my favorite team is not involved, I always know when Angel Hernandez has a game because his name is up on Twitter that night.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he must be behind home plate tonight somewhere,
Yeah.
making
Maybe
somebody's life miserable.
maybe he should just quit.
He won't. Their union is very strong. So
That's true.
So,
That's
folks, if you want really just a great breakdown on how the umpires are doing, umpire scorecard is. Sometimes you'll watch the game and you go after and read umpire scorecard and you realize they weren't as bad as you thought, and then sometimes you realize they were exactly as bad as you thought.
So there's the chance that we're worse than that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we're not trained professionals. I mean, I don't think I could go out there and umpire a Major League Baseball game.
I don't know that I'd want to.
You got to have a lot of faith in that catcher to stand in there while a ball's coming at your chest 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm sure the pay's great and you get to travel and look, you get to watch baseball. You can't have that job and not love baseball, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's not just a paycheck.
No, but you have to subject yourself to the vitriol they get. You have to love the game, right?
Yeah, you got to be a certain type of person, that's for sure.
So overall, they're probably okay. It would just be nice to see some accountability. And hey, you don't really hear too many complaints about them on safe out calls anymore because they have replay for that. Mm-hmm. So let's just let the robots call the strike zone and we're good.
Then what's an umpire going to do?
Call safe and out.
Oh,
fair and foul. Check the pitcher's hands for sticky stuff.
Yeah.
Keep the pace of play going by, yelling at the batter to get in the box and
pointing at the countdown clock.
Yeah. The stuff that they're going to do anyway.
True. So I wanted to talk too about the trade deadline.
Yes.
So what are you thinking? Like, what big names are we going to see gone? Are the Cubs going to get rid of everybody? The Nationals?
Josh Bell's history.
Yeah.
I mean, he's decent. He's having a good season. They don't gain anything by keeping him. He's gone. Do they have anyone else that anyone would want? Is the question.
Well,
Soto.
there's two. Well, there's two guys that have been rumored to go into Minnesota from there. So of course Bell was one of them, and who's their ancient DH?
Oh, Nelson Cruz.
So there's rumors of him reuniting in Minnesota.
How much does he have left? Is the question.
He's definitely down this year. Yeah, it's always a question.
And the Nats could move their closer. I don't think he would be a closer for anyone he went to, but he would be a nice bullpen piece. Their farm system is known to be in shambles right now. Moving Soto's a way to restock that, right?
So no choice.
Well, once he said he wasn't going to sign an extension there, like you can't let him walk for nothing.
No.
And honestly, 15 years, $440 million is plenty fair.
Yeah.
You don't say no to that unless you think you can get $500 million, right?
You got to at least try.
So you have to move him. You have to hope you get like 3 or 4 really good prospects back.
So who's got it?
Who's got the prospects to get Soto? The Dodgers. Yeah. They have a ton. They have a ton of talent. I think the Braves have enough to get him. I don't think they want to fool with his salary, and it might kind of empty the cupboard.
Yeah.
Under the flags fly forever theory, I think if I was a GM, I'd go ahead and do that and let him walk in 2 years and take my compensatory draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Yankees, anytime someone is going to be commanding potentially record-setting money, the Yankees are going to be involved because they have the pockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, Aaron Judge might not re-sign with them, so there might be a whole bunch of money cleared out of the way for a younger fellow like Soto.
So which guy do you want, though? Judge or
Oh,
Soto?
I'd want Soto in a second.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I mean, he's younger and uh, just his ability to get on base and potentially. I mean, you're splitting hairs between two, future Hall of Famers, but Soto is
Here's the thing.
You don't get guys like that.
First of all, how long do you think Aaron Judge is going to be able to play center field? He's really tall.
He's a giant.
And he's 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You don't see center fielders that big. He's going to, at some point, either have to go to first or be a DH, which is fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Soto is 23.
Children.
Right? It's a no-brainer. You take the guy that's 23, especially he steals bases. And like you said, he's an on-base machine, and he's got great plate discipline. He's the classic five-tool dude.
That is incredible.
He's basically a better version of Ronald Acuna, which it pains me to say.
Ooh, ouch.
Right?
Ooh.
And I'm not saying Ronald Acuna is bad, because he is not.
Yeah.
That's just how good Soto is.
So, but is Vladdy Jr. going to have a better career?
I think Vladdy Jr. is going to end up a DH someday.
Too beefy.
Too beefy.
Like his pops.
I mean, he's already at first baseman. Didn't he start out playing third?
I guess that's true.
So
athletically, he's not there,
but he's also 23.
Yeah. The game is awesome, full of young stars.
It is. There's so many people. It's a shame Tatis is hurt, because he's so much fun.
And I love to watch him play.
I love to watch him play. Abrams, he struggled, but he's obviously their future there.
Yeah.
I think you keep him and Tatis together as long as you can, don't you?
Oh, you got to write that.
Acuna is fantastic. Michael Harris. Maybe the Braves knew that he was this good, and that's why.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, man. I've been watching it as an outsider, going, "This guy's pretty good."
Yeah, I'm like, maybe this is why they let Pache go.
Yeah.
His plate discipline's terrible, but he makes really hard contact, and he runs, and he catches everything.
It's rare for young guys to have great plate discipline.
I guess they're not all Harper, Soto, and Acuna, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
No, baseball is full of really talented, really athletic dudes, and most of them have interesting personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Ohtani, who can do
let's talk about him. Is he staying with the Angels?
Oh yeah, he's under contract for a long time. By the way, Ohtani and Trout prove to you that you need more than two guys, because those are two of the best players in the league.
Yeah. Do the Angels move Trout?
No, you can't move Trout. He's the face of your franchise, and they have him for dirt cheap. Trout gave them a very nice discount on his extension. I wonder if I can find how much he signed for. What is Trout's? Google will tell me, right?
Usually.
It's a shame he's hurt so often. Trout got 426.5.
That's right.
So that's less than what Soto was going to get. 12 and 4. Well, a little more than 430 with the incentives. He got 12. Harper only got 330 million. Only. I say only.
Only. I was like, wait a minute, you said only.
Well, that's 100 million less than Trout. I don't know that Harper got 12 years, though.
No, I don't think so. But I wouldn't go 12 years. I don't know. I wouldn't go 12 years on anybody. But
23-year-old, you got him to the 35, maybe. Look, Trout obviously wants to be there the rest of his career.
Yep.
And you can't move him. He's the face of the franchise. And if anyone deserves to win out there, it's that dude.
I mean, are they going to ever?
Well, not this year.
Yeah, I mean, we used to say that. Oh, not this year. Not this year. It'd be a shame for such a talented player never to get a taste of winning it all.
And the thing is, with the guy in the roster like Trout and Ohtani, you can't really do a complete teardown like the Astros and Cubs did, right? When they just completely just went from garbage and tried to rebuild from the ground up. And both of those clubs got World Series titles out of it.
Yep.
One of them might not have been quite on the up and up.
Yeah, we'll take that one out of it.
But I mean, the
process worked.
The process worked. The Cubs are garbage now, but the Astros are still a pretty darn solid ball club. Evil though they are.
Yes. Is it possible we hate them more than the Yankees?
Oh no, my Yankees.
I just threw it out there. I agree.
You're talking to someone that is really scarred from the '96 World Series and the '98 World Series, and I don't. But that '96 World Series, that was the best team I've ever seen Atlanta have. That was better than the team that beat the Indians the year before, and they were up 2-0 going home in the World Series, and had a lead in Game 3. I'm still bitter over that World Series.
Yep, understandably.
You realize that ball club had 3 Hall of Famers in the starting rotation, and Chipper Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a shame. Don't know how it happens.
It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Bernie Williams and Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter happened. That's what happened. I don't like any of those guys. Actually, I like Mariano Rivera. I don't like those other guys, though.
Yeah, you got to respect him. I mean, the guy, just that cutter and his presence, and I mean, just the way he produced all into his mid-30s or 40s rather.
Almost his 40s, yeah.
I mean, just incredible.
Your Rookie of the Year pick was the Twins pitcher, wasn't it? Or is it?
Yeah. Ryan.
I think it's going to be that kid from the Mariners. He's been good.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about him, didn't we?
He's been really good.
He's been really good. And he did pretty good in the All-Star home run derby. I was impressed.
I don't know who's going to get it in the National League. I mean, you know who I like? I like that O'Neill Cruz kid from the Pirates. Mm-hmm. He's fun to watch. Speaking of dudes that are fun to watch, that dude's fun to watch.
Yes. He is. I've watched him a few times.
I like Spencer Strider's mustache. Oh, you haven't seen Spencer Strider's mustache?
I don't know about that.
You didn't laugh. He's got one of those 1895 mustaches, just like really...
Like curled on the end?
No, but it's really bushy.
Okay.
It's a throw.
What is with the mustaches anyway? Like, why are they cut? I don't know.
I think it makes them intimidating. Well, I mean, the Yankees. Well, I'm gonna say the Yankees players get them because they can't have a beard. Like, you know how Matt Carpenter's got one now, and he looks really creepy with his.
Yeah.
Somebody said on a broadcast that he looks like somebody's creepy uncle. John Boy Media clipped it and played it like he was at bat, and someone behind the plate yelled that to him.
He looks pretty creepy.
So do you think it is possible that we could have a rematch of the 1991 World Series this year?
Well, I hadn't even thought about it until you asked. It would take a miracle for the Twins to get there. This just depends on how much they wanted the front office wants to address the problems they've had this year. So,
I mean, just getting in, once you get in, small sample size, crazy things happen.
Yeah, but they don't have enough starting pitching. Rely on their bullpen too much, and they have the highest amount of innings in the bullpen. It worries me. They need at least 2 arms on the back end and another starting pitcher.
Gray, Ryan, and Bundy. That's a pretty decent top 3.
That's decent, but I got my eyes set on that Oakland, the guy who's left. Oh, I forget his name.
Let me look it up. Oakland perennial sellers. Mm-hmm. Not their fault. I mean, they're trying to do the best they can with the resources they have. Frankie Montas?
Yes, yeah. If we walk away with Frankie Montas, 2 bullpen arms, and actually something decent at catcher, I don't think there's very low production at catcher. It's not working. They have 3 catchers, and none of them together are decent.
Well, in their defense, y'all have been spoiled by years of Joe Mauer.
Well, yeah. There's that.
He's kind of hard to follow up.
So, I mean, I guess that's not asking that much to be there. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Really, winning the division, it keeps you out of that one game series.
Mm-hmm.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, but they're like 1-16 versus the Yankees over the last.
Well, so you don't want to see them. You want like somebody like.
Jeez, I don't know
like the Astros to take care of them for you, right? Or no, they won't. Their record's too good.
It's like
maybe Tampa will sneak in and take care of them for you.
That would be nice. We can't face them again.
Jameson Taillon was never this good with the Pirates. What's up? Like he goes to New York and all of a sudden he's like an ace.
Exactly. I don't know. I can't figure that out either. That one's been a real head scratcher. Their bullpen is, oh gosh, it's every single guy comes out and throws his guard. Oh gosh. I've watched the Yankees too much. It just makes me mad.
See, I just don't.
I don't even know why I watch. I just like it's like a moth to a flame or something.
You're torturing yourself. Don't do that anymore.
I'm like, look how good they are. These guys are amazing.
Watch teams that bring you joy, like the Angels. Anytime Ohtani plays, it's much-watched television. As soon as DeGrom is back, every single one of his starts is much-watched television.
Yes.
We have less than a minute, so I will say thank you for joining me.
It's been great.
I love baseball.
Me too. I always like catching up with you, buddy.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll have you back at the end of the third quarter. Hopefully, both of our teams will be in first place and headed down the stretch, and then we can talk about the playoffs. All right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Have a lovely rest of your evening.
You too. See you, buddy.
Thanks again to Mike Thome for joining me. This is going to be a teaser. He's going to probably have to be back next week. I'll let you wait and find out why. This Friday, my guest is a musician, a writer from Brooklyn, New York. His name is John Henry Sheridan, a lovely fellow. I think you'll like that one. See you Friday.